Hi, and hi again. I tell you the truth, like every time we have to do this, I get in my head. Have I mentioned how much I hate TV or how much I hate video? It's different when you're doing radio or you're doing an audio podcast. So listen, I'm just really grateful that you could make time and stream our podcast and be a part of this community that we are hoping to build. This is NaTwishe, the podcast, and welcoming you. My name is Niza Level Piri. I'm here with my friend.
Yes, and it's Agnes Bisa, aka Mrs. B. We've added another AKA now, the modern Nachimbusa.
The modern Nachimbusa, particularly for this episode. But before we even get there, this episode or this podcast, all in all, is just for solution-focused conversations with friends. And you are our friend. She's my friend. So we hope that you can also chip in either in the comment section, visit our social media platforms. Let us know what you think, because this particular podcast is for people like you, people like me, people like us who are just going through stuff, trying to navigate this stuff, and within our circle, we just figure things out together. Yes. So I'm excited about this particular episode. Like I said, visit our social media platforms. Subscribe also. That's very, very important. Subscribe, because it's about community. So what would this community be if you do not become a part of it? So the modern day Nachimbusa is here. I'm very uncomfortable about this topic.
I'm very comfortable about it.
You seem so excited about it. I'm troubled.
I mean, what I like is this is comfortable for me. So today, NaTwishe, dating and marriage. I know. Wow. She hates it. I love it, and I can't wait to discuss it with her as we propound how dating is. What challenges we have, how is it looking at the moment, and just to see the different aspects of it all.
You remember how last week we talked about friendships, right?
Yes.
And I was so comfortable, and I was so, because I think there are relationships and then there's friendship, and that's one part of relationships that I've really navigated well. I know my way around it. And so when it now comes to this aspect, I'm almost like, okay. So let's do this.
But I have a lot of words in Shama words number. No, but there's nothing to be uncomfortable about. I enjoyed dating. I enjoy marriage.
Yeah. Clearly.
Not that it's not hard or not hard. I hate the word hard. Not that it doesn't have its own challenges.
Right.
But I enjoy dating so much, such that even marriage comes, it's challenges but easy. And I like it, and I enjoy it. Every point of it, every aspect of it all, I like it. And I like to share that with everyone. I like to, I'm the champion. I'm like, no, just hang in a little bit. I'm the one telling you, date this one, no, try this. No, if this didn't work, try the next person, because I'm just all about finding that person. And I feel like we said, even from our last episode, feel myself, not imposing it on anyone. I feel like the dating scene now has changed so much. I'm not saying I'm so old and our dating scene was so ancient and whatever, but now I just feel like people are, wishy-washy about relationship. I was wishy-washy about it, but the wishy-washing about it was finding the person. It wasn't just like you're just going around it. Whatever.
How old were you when you got married, just for people watching?
So I got married when I just turned 25.
Right. And I am 31, and I'm not thinking of being married until at least I'm 35.
And I've told you this before, and we've talked about it. I enjoy marriage so much. Yes, I like that I got married at 25. But I'll tell everybody to say 30 is safe.
Right.
30, you're more into your own person.
Right.
30, you're more knowing. You're unable to make the unnecessary mistakes and whatever.
I really understand that. And I think just to get in and to just sit base, there is... there's perceptions as to what marriage is like, right?
I know.
And yes, I'm a single person. I'm not married, right? I'm not in any committed relationship at the moment. And at the same time, I don't know by the time we publish this, because there's somebody. But I wanted to get to this. Sorry. There's the perception from us being on the outside, looking at marriage like, Mrs. B is married to Mr. B and they've got a home and they've got 3 babies, right?
Yeah.
What is the current situation as far as marriage? Because there are things that we hear, there are things that we see, and that's what almost makes me feel like, no rush. I'm good to consider marriage. I'm not saying I want to be married at 35. I want to consider marriage
35
when I turn 35. What's the situation?
One thing, I can't lie. And I think it's our generation, not the older ones. If I feel like packet,
right,
like the 5 years or 8 years or 10 years in marriage, that I think have given a very unsure state of what marriage is.
I wouldn't say that. Well, my parents divorced after 26 years of marriage.
I'm not even talking about divorce per se. I'm talking about even just the nature of marriage. Now marriage is like na changuka, okay? Na changusha in such, and I don't want to go traditional because, like I said, the modern na chimbuza, right? But the ukwangusha that I'm talking about is there's not. It's like the way people are dating now is the way we're getting married. It's like you're just here testing the waters, see how it goes. And if it doesn't tickle your fancy, it doesn't. No, baby, sorry. No, I'm not attacking you. And the favorite is, it does not understand my love language. It does not cater to my needs. There's all these things that people have dressed marriage to be and whatnot. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I have a perfect marriage. Oh my God, I'm not even saying that. But I just feel like the nature of the way people are dating now, they're bringing it into marriage. Even there's the importance of how you date is how you get married. And
agreed.
If you're casually taking and casually dating and casually just in and out, not willing to make it work, not willing to understand your friend, even when you get into marriage, because people now have, like, if you know that, you have a target to get married at 35. So 35 Yafka, since I have a target to get married at 35, let me get married at 35. Whoever the suitable suitor will be at the time. Wamupa. But the way you are getting married is because 35 has come and I need to get married. So there's that test and waters and not taking a test to understand exactly what you're getting into. And I was a victim of that. Not victim. I was in that case for some point.
Yeah.
Until I had to unlearn a lot of things.
I see.
And that came from having friends who are older than I am.
Okay, so I'm trying to round it up. So your observation is that we are taking our casual dating into casual marriage.
Yes. That's bottom line, that's what's happening. Because level, if I ask you, sorry, we're being honest. Like, how many people are you dating at the moment? Or in the past 3 months, how many people have you dated?
I don't know where this is going, but I know in the past I have shared how at some point I dated 3 people. And I mean, I had my reasons. I felt as though I had always been in committed relationships, and it always felt like it's so serious. And so even the heartbreaks, even the disappointment would feel a bit deeper because of what I would give. But then I told myself that I just wanted to date and assess. Like, literally, I did not know what I liked. It was like, whoever asked me out, right? So I decided to date. My definition of dating being assessing someone to see their suitability for a commitment.
But there was a time we're saying,
yes,
dude,
I'm from the Copper Belt.
Who are you dating?
I'm from the Copper Belt. These Bemba men have told me things about my intention to date intentionally. I've been told, I've like, somebody just says, I don't know if we have to censor this, but I was just told like, oh no. by someone I was actually dating at the time, and I was like, listen, if there was ever a chance with you, Mr. Man, listen, go find somebody else, because I didn't even know what I liked. I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't even know how I would like to be loved, and I understand it's possible for you to love me your way, but I didn't even have an idea, because I'd always been in this relationship, I don't know, I'm not even saying this to make it make sense to someone. To me it made sense. So I dated multiple people during a period of like maybe a year and 6 months, and by the end of it I was just like, I think I have clarity. If I'm going to be in a committed relationship with someone, if I'm going to be talking to someone, because that's what we call talking to someone, if I'm going to be talking to someone, I know I probably have 3 questions to ask them, and I know what I know. I know I can be talking to them and chilling with them for maybe 3 months. After that, I need to make a decision. Is this somebody who's a friend? Is this somebody who I want to be committed to or not? So if they declare, I can quickly make my decision. Before, I was almost like unsure, because what do I even want? That was the place I did this from. And I know it's worse in our generation, because casual relationships are really casual relationships. And yes, like it's just about my needs and just casually have sex with this one, casually spend a night with this one, casually go out on chills or holidays with this one. Mine is very intentional. It's very philosophical, I like to believe. Let's get to the depth of who you are as a person. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual before it's physical. At least that's how I like to take things. So that's where I personally stand. But it's really ghetto out there.
I know. And I only asked that because I wanted to get to the context of people are dating. I'm getting married the way they are dating. It's like you're dating a number of people at the same time because you're not sure of what you want. Mean. Okay? So I feel, like I say, in my opinion, and even some of my friends that I've seen it with, some of my married friends, people were getting married just because... just because, and especially with our time, there was this need to say after 25 it was just not okay for you not to be married. 26, 27, you start feeling the pressure. I need to when people
where's the pressure for me? Why isn't anybody pressuring me?
It has changed because people are like, I want to know what I want, I want to know what I like. And that's what I said. Marriage now, we've given you a narrative for everybody because most of us jumped into it because there was a pressure of get married without even knowing what you like, without knowing why you're even getting married in the first place, without even having to know what the expectations are in the marriage. You're just doing it because, first of all, you now push your university and you need to get married, or maybe that you've reached a certain age, you need to get married. And sometimes some people would get married just because they found the person that they like and they're getting married. But then knowing really what you want and what you like was not there. And that's why I was asking how many people are dating at the same time. It's not to say, you've been, like the guy said that, or no. It's just to highlight.
Dude had no sense.
It's just to highlight that now people are dating to know exactly what they like.
True.
It's a good thing. I like it. But then again, you have to be very wary of it because the casualness comes in, which I feel now, the marriages which are 2 years, 3 years. Remember I talked about the marriages which are 10, they are 9, 8 years, which we are a bit confused and don't know what we want. Because I feel like it's our era. About 10 years, but 12 years, who actually even made the whole side chick situation normal. It's because we did not know what we wanted. You know what I mean? And now the 5 years, 3 years, and whatever there's a casualness of it all. I can dip in. I do not like this, and I'm out. You get what I mean? Because I don't know if you remember. Sometimes knowledge is to a fault. Now, you know what you want. So when you get there, maybe this guy presents a certain type of way, and then you're like, no, I have a statement to this.
Do you know what I like to say? I know what I know. This is wow. Listen, not so because I do have that statement. I do like to say, I know what I know, and I could be on 3 dates with you. I know you're not the one. I'm out. But at the same time, I feel as though for me, the intentional dating I did was something to clear certain ideas that I had. Yes, because I did that, and at the end of it, there were certain lists that I kept. I had lists found.
She had a list, guys.
You know the list. I even did poems about it. I have poems that talk about my lists.
At Spanish.
Oh, please.
I thought just like
babes hole, have a beard, speak one, and then you realize that beards don't do nothing.
I was like, dude,
he can be tall and be empty in the head.
And it's not even about that.
And it's not. It's really
5 years later. It's like, and then the beard does what?
You know? And so I had a list that, you know, you speak to this person intentionally. Like, I want to hear you. I have questions for you. Who are you? Where do you come from? What is your philosophy about ABCD? And then you start realizing that, oh, wait. In reality, this does not work.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting down on that list, not because I'm starting to compromise or to settle for a lower threshold, but because I'm trying to be practical. I'm trying to be realistic. Because from a biblical perspective, I also do understand that God does use relationship to bring us into righteousness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I'm just trying to find Mr. Perfect, I'm also saying I don't want to do the work. I'm also saying I don't want to compromise. I'm also saying I don't want to sacrifice. So I have that understanding. And I wanted to ask you this because you're saying know yourself. By 30, you have come
to be.
You know? You're saying that. But at the same time, you're saying,
but at
you
least
know, you come to... So I'm just wondering, there's a very thin line here. Maybe you tell us your story. How did you arrive at... this is going to be my husband, it's going to be Mr. B, and this is going to be the one?
Is it a story I really like to tell?
You have to summarize.
I love our love story.
Yeah.
I do love it. It's unconventional. It's not a typical story.
Right.
And where to start from? Dating.
I know.
Even our dating wasn't conventional because we knew each other prior.
Right.
We went away, then came back. He found me with somebody. And I think I've always been very ahead of my time, not to give myself props and whatever. But
you are the girl that you think you are.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. But I feel like even then, it wasn't very, like 2002, 2003. Quite my boyfriends, 1 or 2 or more than that. From my church, like
right.
They're doing the most.
Right.
Okay. So then they will tell you you are the most. You are doing the most.
So you're being me back then.
Yes, but back then was not as allowing as it is now.
Right.
So he found me with somebody.
Yeah.
I was checking out two guys.
Yeah.
Who were my potential boyfriends, but there was something missing, and I knew it. And I've always been the one with targets, like the way you said. So even being at uni and testing the waters, let me just say that, and dating around, I knew I was going to get married at 25.
Wow.
I had set a goal to say I will get married at 25. And I've always taught this to people, people who know me. I'm a lover of love, and I told myself in the moment, guys, I can't be alone. There are people who can be alone, you know what I mean? Like they enjoy that time alone or whatever. But me, I enjoy being with somebody.
Then knowing that self part, yeah.
For the longest time, I knew I enjoy being with a better half, a male next to me.
Yeah,
it all makes sense. So I had set that target at 25. I was gonna get married. So 22, 23,
yeah.
I had 2 potential guys who I was looking at and, enjoying them and whatever. Then Thomas comes back from his studies and it was like that
wait a minute.
one thing you're missing from the other 2 guys.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, and then I'm like, how do I navigate this? I already have these 2 guys on the back of my, and they were serious about me. They were good guys. They were really good guys, like potential good guys. One was even from my same faith by then. So it was easy. And we started going out and defined for a while until after a few months. I told him, I was like, I think I like you more than I'm supposed to.
An unconventional part. Why? Why are we this people?
And then it wasn't easy for a girl to tell a guy that I like you more than I expected.
And I don't know if you would tell me to do that today. Like, would you want me to do that? Right?
Because it worked out for me, I would always tell people to say, you know what? Sometimes our fellow friends, I'm not speaking for the guys, sometimes they don't know, maybe they're scared, they want to tell you, but no, rejection hurts. Isn't that so, Trevor? Rejection hurts.
Wait. Trevor, would you advise me as a woman to tell a man that I actually like him and want to be with him?
Yeah, I'll do that because it will be easier for him as well to come out.
Right.
Okay. And that's what I found out. He felt the same way, but he just thought
2022
because he knew I was dating somebody else. So by me telling him that, it was easier. It was like,
okay, I made my considerations and now I'm thinking of you. What's your move?
Yeah. So we're like, fine, we can try this. Let's see how best it goes. Because before then, it was just like he would come pick you up for a drink, you chill, you watch a movie or something, you come back. It's Netflix and chill. Yeah, our favorite series was Rome. We just go and watch.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's a British shiny series. It was our first 6
cool,
series
though.
and stuff. So we just sit and chill and whatever. But it was because it was challenging and it was like a thing I was missing. And I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I can deal with this. So I'm turning 23 and I'm like, I've always told myself I need to date at least 2 years to know a person I'm with. You know, it was all these standards. Why they could become a the guy is supposed to be older than you. At least date a guy 2 years of dating. At least be 25 and get married. So for me, I followed through.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I need to date a guy at least 2 years for me to know them. So what do? Politely tell the guys, I'm like, I think I didn't tell them when I found some, but I'm very when I have emotions.
Look out for other people's
I care about
emotions.
people and stuff. So I just told them, I was like, you know what? I think I'm leading you to a certain place where I'm not yet there. Yeah. So if you're able to wait for me to figure this out, fine, let's do it. But if not,
what do you ever talk about your story and feel like it was easier for you and back then? And also acknowledge or observe the difficulty in now time.
Yes, I do acknowledge that it was so easy then. I feel like about maybe allowing,
back then.
I would not want to believe there are so many men than women, but I feel like our mobile were very passive. Like it's like, okay, bye. On to the
Trevor
next one.
agrees. I'm not even gonna ask him.
On to the next one. You know what? They're not even going to wait for you to, navigate your emotions and even have time to pick. I just feel like my ladies now are just rushing for things. But for me, I had the time to look around, say, I don't like this, I like this.
Yeah.
Can you allow me to navigate through with this? And it was easier. I would accept that. It was easier then. And men were patient. They wait for you. Even Thomas took us about, I think, a month or two for me to get rid of those other 2 relationships.
I see what you mean.
And then we started dating. It wasn't easy and whatever.
So,
because
I'll tell you this true story. I remember twice liking these 2 guys. And because I laugh, like, why would these people? I think I will not disclose the age, but fam, I'm the girl. But I remember this one time really feeling a certain liking towards a guy and being the first person to declare. And I remember him not even saying anything, nothing to acknowledge how I felt or what I said.
You almost made me choke.
Yes, I'm so sorry. But I remember him not even acknowledging what I had said and simply leaning in to kiss me. And it wasn't affectionate. It wasn't passionate. It wasn't It wasn't respect. It wasn't anything like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I just remember like, what's going on? You know?
Maybe that was his way of saying I like you too.
Like I said, it wasn't. It wasn't. I know that I know.
Felt it,
oh my goodness,
like
that
felt like
wasn't
you needed to
it.
just do something
That
to
wasn't
affirm whatever
it.
he said.
Remember how, yes, I'm really about quality time. I want to know, have you heard me? What's your translation? Why is this your move? Right? And how have you prepped me for what you're about to do right now? Perhaps me knowing how you feel and what you think could prepare me better to you leaning in. I'm just like, oh, okay, there's some information.
But
there was
that's
nothing.
why I've always said I think you are supposed to live in our time. I feel like now maybe a guy would think that that's too much. Like, should I?
Do you know what men think? And I'm not even asking.
Oh, you're not even asking.
I'm not asking what men think. I'm telling them.
Think.
The minute a woman comes to you and opens up about her emotions towards you, it's an invitation for another casual sexual encounter. That's it. Like literally. Well, I don't want to use like just a moment. So if you're in any place, position, situation where you could do that, they feel like that's what. And I'm not saying every man, but
the ones
my two experiences were enough to tell me men cannot, like that. Men won't always be nice.
So for you, with your experience, you wouldn't advise someone to tell someone,
listen,
that I like you.
Fuila mukati.
Until why?
Fuila mukati, if you go to fiance, speak to the modern day Nachimbusa, ask her to what are the signals I can give him so that he does pursue.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Declaring your emotions, especially to a man who is immature, to a man, because maybe there's been one encounter where I actually told one person to this day, we are mates with this person. Him, his wife and I are really cool, because there was almost like, listen, I think you're a very nice person. I like how respectful you are towards other women. And the person was able to say, I actually like you too. And listen, I enjoy spending time with you as well, but I have a person and she's there. She's, like giving me the details.
That's
I kid you not, like to this day, I'm just like, because there was that respectfulness, and to this day him and his wife would check in and be like, how are you seeing someone? And the wife likes to joke like, that's how respect. Why not? Okay, wait,
that's a topic for another day. But why?
You wouldn't want.
Anyway,
you wouldn't want. But I think my point was, in our time, the observation is, men don't know what to do when a woman is vulnerable and expressive and they talk about their emotions, right? And that's why a lot of our relationships are starting with casual affairs rather than deep conversations as to what do you need? Why does this work? And they're very rare. And
it's like a girl is just waiting for the guy to lead the way.
Because that's what we've been taught. We've been taught to wait for the man to navigate it. If you push in, then you are being slutty, or you're being thirsty, or you're being what? So you wait for the man. But the man also is, most times I just feel like they don't know what they want.
So you tell them.
So now it's the telling. How do we tell them? That's why I wanted to hear your story. And look at that.
For me, it was just, I like you. I hate it that I have to think twice before I text you because we have not defined this. It's like I don't even know when to call you. I don't even know how to call you. I don't even know how to call you. If is it babe? Is it a hand? Is it friend?
Because you're already thinking of calling him babe, right?
I'm like, dude,
I missed that. I don't remember the last time I wanted to call someone son, babe.
Babes, if we're dating, or married, why are you calling me by my name? No. So I needed to know. I'm like, I need to know. Am I calling you babe? Apparently, babe, I'm call happy baby. You know what I mean?
I see.
So I needed that to be defined. I didn't want to. What's the word? Imagining a relationship, because even to date, I've seen people who think a relationship is here You know, where people are into different positions.
Because people don't want to talk about how they feel. People don't know what they need. So we go with the flow, which is the most frustrating thing about the dating space right now.
Go with the flow because people's flows are different. Level the way you.
I like how you say that. Say that again. How I flow. Fam, I flow. Okay.
Yeah. That flow cannot be the person you're with flow. So that's why an honest discussion about where your feelings are, no in your thoughts with the person is very important.
Yeah.
Make it known. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling this and that.
Yeah.
What are we doing about it?
Mm. I do get you.
I
do get you. But I think, we know what I think before we even go to that, here's another thing. Relationships do need to lead to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would say I'm dating to see if this is a possible or suitable person for a commitment.
Yeah.
The commitment for me is let's be together. That's like courtship or whatever words you want to use for it. That should lead to marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this. A lot of young people today are avoiding marriage. Hence the casualness. Hence, let's cohabit.
Because, like I said,
let's cohabit.
We've given a very weird narrative to marriage.
Thank you. And that's what I want to talk about. Because Niza could easily say me being married at 30, at 25. I'm thinking about what I was doing at 25. I can't. At 30, that's when I was thinking like, oh, let me date with
let's see how this
let's
goes.
see. Let me just date. Let me talk to now if someone is talking to me, I'll actually engage.
I probably can't
because
the question.
We are looking at marriages
now.
And I'm just thinking, and then what? Am I going to get into marriage just because I want to be called Mrs. I wanted to put a letter there. Somebody. Or do I want to have kids?
Name.
Is it just because I don't want to be a single mother and so I'm going to really get into marriage with someone just so I could have kids? Or because that's also a thing these days. And there's this way we've idolized marriage and glamorized it without the work. What's really going on? Like, I'm looking from the outside and I'm just like, fam.
Maybe it's a lot to dig in. And I'm not saying I'm wise or I know it all.
You need to stop saying that, by the way.
Why?
Just say what you need to say.
Because I want to be sensitive,
let's talk
baby.
about
like
it.
I said, let's talk. I know, we're talking about it.
Oh, by the way, you can judge.
Hey, baby, judging because...
but
anyway, you can judge. But
we'll delete them.
I try to say, let me not be wise, because like someone would say, you've only been married 9 years. What do you even know? You know what I mean? You've only been married for this long. What do you even know?
Who did they do that to? They did that to Esther.
Exactly.
Was that like a real thing?
I think I heard something to that.
I thought that was staged.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I think that's staged. Anyway, moving on. Listen, even if you've been married for 6 weeks,
let's give advice.
You have gone past certain phases that some of us have failed to reach.
I have won over you.
I still want to hear your perspective. I'm not saying it's the expert narrative, but it's your personal experience. And as they say, fools learn from their own mistakes and the wise from other people's mistakes. So I'll take it. Fools.
Please let me write that down.
Why are you writing it down? You can watch the podcast later. Fools learn from their own mistakes, while the wise will learn from other people. And that is why it's important to sit down and get counsel and ask big questions, uncomfortable questions. So I'm here to learn. I feel like I'm ready to start preparing for 35.
And that's why I liked about this topic so much, because Mrs. B, aka Mondena Chimbosa, right? Is because I've been assimilating, I've been learning, I've been experiencing, I've been asking.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, okay, but mommy teach me, but auntie teach me. And then the younger ones, I'm like, let me learn from what you're doing. So it's like, I've been tapping in so many different avenues of marriage and relationship and just taking it all in. So I would say I'm 9 years in marriage, but I think I'm way past 25 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Thought.
But you know what? That is true. Because you also keep a lot of much older people in your circle.
I have very old.
So based on the people you talk to, and you're not talking to me, you have like collective 40 years of marriage experience.
Yes.
I like that for you.
And I've told myself I'm gonna be the bridge between the
Thank
older
you.
generation and the younger generation.
Thank you.
Because I feel we can learn so much from them, and they have little to learn from us, but we have so much to learn from them. So, babe, watch Chachan again. No.
So, like, I can't even remember my question as well, but perhaps you can drive us to...
Oh, Wachalan, that's why people are not aspiring to get married because of the narrative that marriage is now and the way we've portrayed
it look so hard, especially when
there's
so
hard.
many divorce cases in our
country.
country.
We make it look hard, we make it look not serious, we make it look quite, it's something you can dip and do it anytime you want. The institution of marriage is not as it was. So it's just two things for me, I think. And not to be
let it in. Yeah, two things.
And not to be churchy or whatever they would say is
she apologizes a lot.
I know, it's a thing. But cancel, I'm sure you have a term for it. But know yourself and know who you are and whose you are. Okay? Know what you represent.
Yeah.
So even if you're in that marriage and you're trying to navigate the marriage, know who you are and who you're representing.
Yeah.
That is your family, the God you pray to.
Right.
What are you representing and why are you in that marriage? And secondly, even our second point,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe while you think of what it is, I would like to say, I like to say that based on where I come from, I shouldn't aspire to be married. Trust me, I've seen some very awful. Oh, there we go.
Service.
Yeah.
Service on both parts. Even biblically, even when you are being taught traditionally, even the whole sign of love languages, it all points to the point of service. Some people will say submission, but it should be on both ends.
True.
Both in relationship and in marriage. Know who you are, what you represent, and what you come with. Know that when you are there, it is work, it is submissive, it's service. Know what you're working towards. Know what is my friend's love language. What does this person reflect? How can I be a service to them so that it's easier for them to come up? Because there's always this argument to say, is it the respect for the man that is supposed to be given, then the love is given to the woman? But don't go in that narrative to say, if he doesn't give me respect, then I won't give the love, or if she doesn't give me the respect, then I won't go into love. I just feel like these two fundamental, if people can just get it out of their head and say,
what I'm thinking right now as you say that, do your part and do your part so well
without expectation from the other person, so that the person
and just hope that they follow through as well.
Don't even hope, just do. If they don't do, then
you will know.
I'm not the Nachimbusa who will say shpikisha until
like
to the end. No, there's an end to things where you say, okay, we've run to this point, we've done the counseling, we've asked, we've done, but we reached to this point and it says, perhaps we rushed into it, perhaps it was an age thing, perhaps it was a culture thing, that's why we got married and whatever. I can go on and on about how to make
things.
I know, to work about marriage and whatever, and I'm still working around it. There are times I look at my husband, I'm like, you were not even my first option, but then again, you were my best option.
I love that.
It was not my first option, but it was my best option. I picked him. I was aware, and I told him, I'm like, every time I make a decision, I'm aware, and I'm accepting all that comes with it.
Wait, I was at a church blessing a few weeks ago. Kawela and Kango were getting married.
Congratulations to them.
I know, right? And they had these vows in Bemba, which was so cool. I know, it was so cool. But my point was, the preacher, the father who was ministering during the blessing said, the decision you make to be married or to be a priest is not something that you make once off and that's it. But that's a decision you're going to make every morning.
Service,
and do you know why I wanted to drive at that is because you gave your 2 points as to what should help us, right? But for women and men who are single. And I would probably want to say that take the initiative and invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself, but not really to an extent where it's to a fault. I think there is a link between I know myself, I know what I like, I know what I want, versus meeting someone that I then love, I then appreciate, and I want to be with. Because then that helps me manage the things I need to compromise on, how I'm able to serve that person. And by saying this also is to drive to the fact that I do desire to be loved and to love, to have someone I can suffer with and navigate life with. It's just that the space can be very exhausting, can be very toxic, because while I'm working on myself, I don't know if
the person is working.
You know what I mean? And so I think ours as single people is just be invested in knowing yourself and growing yourself, but also be very flexible with our ideas and our theories. That movie you watched, that TD Jakes book that you read, reality is different. I'm sorry for mentioning TD Jakes. There's no book TD Jakes has done about relationships.
When you were talking, I was just like, I remember what my mom told me. Love. Love guys.
Yes. Oh, and another thing. Jeez, I'm remembering. I don't know. Trevor just gave us our timeout. But listen, the thing is, one thing that we single people don't get is that relationships are work. I've only learned this based on observing relationships, the broken relationships and the relationships that are still going, but also noticing the dating space and the work. So it's like, most of us young people will rent a house and be like, the roof. And we won't take the initiative to fix it. Our parents would fix it. We will move out of the house. You see what I mean? And that's the same attitude we take in relationships. It's just like, I'm not really sure about how he breathes. I'm out. Next. And geez, we need to do the work. And if you can't work on yourself, go for therapy, fam. Go for coaching. You will not do the work in a relationship. So I'm really happy that we've had these two perspectives. It gives me
we need 2 hours.
We did. Listen, the idea behind NaTwishe is to really continue having conversations, and these conversations will be through this podcast, but also we might just end up doing some Facebook lives with you. We might just invite you out for a meet and greet soon, because we really want to build community. What do you think is your final word? I have no final words. She'll give you the final word.
NaTwishe, guys, let's talk about it. It's not that deep. I've noticed that whatever you're going through, dating, marriage, it's not that deep. Talk about it. Whatever you're struggling with, how you're dating, how you marriage, how your marriage is going, how you really find someone to talk to. Come to us, friend. Let's NaTwishe it. Let's talk about it, and let's see how best we can bounce off each other as ideas. Because we do not know it all. We can always bounce off ideas. So let's NaTwishe. Let's talk about it. It's not that deep, guys.
It's not that deep. And with that, listen, go as far as working on yourself. If you want to DM any one of us and you want to start unpacking, like I said, I'm a licensed counselor, I'm a life coach, and I'm just trying to help people really navigate some of these conflicts. And she's a modern day Nachimbusa. If you're in marriage 2 years, 3 years, and you're changing and you can't really understand these changes or navigate them, DM her. We'll make sure we tag.
Even relationship.
Oh yeah, you're still dating and you want him to marry you. She'll give you the tricks.
Guys, we know this.
She'll give you the tricks.
We know this thing.
I don't know. Soon I'll tell you I'm dating or I'm in a relationship because of her. But thank you so much for making time.
Thanks, friends.
Please subscribe and would also like you to leave a comment, share, and tag us. We'll be back next week.
See ya.
It's a wrap.